Namah Shri Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Swamine Tapaharine.
Namaste. So, yesterday we stopped after summarizing the Shat Padarthas, Samanya Vishesha, which were referred to as Ityuktam Karanam, Karyam Dhatu Samyam Ihochyade. So, the purpose of knowing all these Shat Padarthas is to basically enable us to plan and execute a set of interventions that will result in Dhatu Samyam. So when there is Dhatu Samyam, there is not only physical arogyam, there is mental, emotional, as well as spiritual well-being, which Sushruta so beautifully says, Samadosha Samagnisha Samadhatu Malakriya Prasannatmendriya Mana Swasthaitya. So it is only in Ayurveda that the word denoting health, which is called Swasthyam, is predominantly spiritual. Because we discussed yesterday that Swarga means to go towards oneself. Naraka means to move away from oneself, become alienated from oneself. And Swarga is to get closer and closer to oneself. But both Swarga and Naraka, are like merry-go-rounds. We keep rotating. Because if you come close, you can still go far away again. Come close, you go far away. So we discussed yesterday also that until we become centered in ourselves, this movement towards and away from the self, what you call as Swarga and Naraka, will continuously keep happening. When we get completely centered, then there is no return. So the goal is not Swarga, not just simply avoiding Naraga or reaching Swarga, but to go beyond. And that idea is so beautifully conveyed by the word Swastha. Swas means Thiyate iti Swastha. So you go beyond Swarga to become a Swastha. When you are established in your own self, in such a way that you will not get separated or dismantled from that higher state. That state is called Swasthyam. So the definition in Ayurveda of Swasthyam, the goal of Dhatu Samyam is also to enable us to achieve Swasthyam, which means that complete establishment in your own self, your inner self. So the word health or such other terms that you see used in other languages, even in modern science, doesn't convey this depth. Because in Ayurveda, we have both Swasthyam and Arogyam. Vikara and Vikriti. Prakriti, Vikara, Vikriti. Then Swasthyam, Arogyam. All these things convey different aspects of health. Prakriti means Sahaja Sthiti. Vikriti means complete derangement. Vikara means the process. So Vikriti is death. Prakriti is health. And Vikara is the movement from Prakriti to Vikriti. So once you attain Vikriti, you cannot reverse it. But Vikara is the process of becoming, going away from the state of Prakriti to Vikriti, which you can reverse. So Arogya is when you have eliminated suffering, but Swasthyam happens only when you are established in your own self. So with this, all these goals, Dhatu Samyam is explained here. If you know Samanyam, Vishesham, Dravya Guna Karma and Samavaya correctly, then you become equipped with all the knowledge that is necessary to achieve Dhatu Samyam. So that is where we concluded yesterday. So we will move forward from here. Now, what is disease? What causes disease? This is a very, very important concept. Vagbada has put the same sloka in a slightly different way. Kala buddhindriyarthanam yogo mithya na chaticha dvayashrayanam vyadhinam trivitho hetu sangraha. How does disease come? This is very beautifully explained by Charaka. Vagbhada says in a different way, Kalartha karmanam yogo hina mithyadi matraga samyak yogascha vijñeyo roga rogyeka karana. There you see Vagbhada's prowess in poetry. Charaka's sloka is improvised by Vagbhada in a better way, a better versification. So what's the same meaning? Kala buddhi indriyarthanam yogo. So Charaka uses Kala, Buddhi and Indriyartha. He uses the word Buddhi. I like this a bit here because you can see the whole Bhagavad Gita is telling seek refuge in Buddhi. Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha. Vagbhada Kala Artha Karmanam. He uses karma in place of Buddhi. So here Buddhi is perception. Vagbhada uses karma. What happens, the expression of Buddhi as action. So he calls it as karma. Whereas here Charaka says karma, the basis of karma is buddhi. So if you don't act with buddhi, then your karma will be wrong, right? So actually speaking, if you literally read this verse, it will say time, the interaction between time, your intellect, and sense objects. They are mithya yoga, ati yoga, and hina yoga. These are the causes for all the diseases that affect the body and mind. Now, it is when I have read this verse 30 years ago, it has taken me many, many decades of deep thinking to get a insight today, which I think is a little bit more practically. So I am going to share the insight also of this, what I got. You can also get deep insight. So I'm just trying to say and demonstrate why we should go beyond word meanings. So if you just give a translation, time, intellect, and sense objects, they are excessive, inadequate, or wrong interaction is the cause for diseases affecting both body and mind. What did you understand? Can anybody tell me? I've begun to understand that there are some Ayurveda physicians also in this group. Not everybody are, but some are. And they have already read these texts. So, in order to make it also a little interactive, can anybody tell me what is meant by this? Kala buddhindriyarthanam yogo mithyana chaticha dvayashrayanam vyadhinam trivitho hetu sangraha. Any Ayurveda physician who has read this Samhita or anybody would like to try and explain? Nobody?
Sir, I would like to try.
Yeah, it is
Maybe
only why. See, it doesn't. We have been listening. Pratnyaparatha Satmendriyarth Samyog Parinam. Very nice. That's a very good attempt. But then what does that also mean? We should not get lost in words. Now, Sumitra wants to try and explain. Can you tell?
Improper association, improper sangraha of the Kala Buddhi Indriya is the cause of disease. That's what on the looks of it, it immediately strikes to me.
Okay. But how do we internalize it? How do understand this in terms of your own life experiences? Yes, what you said, I think, is that your real name?
Yeah, that's
Repeat. No, I'm asking there was a chat. Repeat. Now, thank you, Sumitra. What you said is also, the meaning is correct. I'm just trying to see how we can relate it to our life, day-to-day experiences. That's what I'm asking. Now, I see some Rippy. Is that your real name or is it some, Zoom name or, oh, it's your real name. Okay. Where are you from?
Hi, sir. Sir, I'm from R.A. Potter Medical College.
Okay. But which place do you come from?
Sir, actually, I'm from Arunachal Pradesh, but currently
Okay.
I'm studying in Mumbai.
Yes, because your name seems to be Northeast. Yes,
Yes,
I
sir.
have come once to Arunachal Pradesh. It's a beautiful place. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so very good attempt. Now let me just say, see, how I like to understand this. See, Kala is time, and Indriyartha represents the space where the objects are there. So time and space, time is flowing through space, and as time flows, the objects keep changing. This is the flow of our experience. Like you must feel as if you are flowing. You're flowing in time and space. Time is changing, space is also changing, is it not? See, if you just look at the seasons, what is happening? It is the flow of time in space. So it is the same place you are. In summer, your experience is different. Everything looks different. If you just take a picture of your view from in front of your house, if you take pictures of buildings, no use. If there is some nature, you can take some picture. And you take it through the seasons, you can see it's continuously changing. The space seems to be changing, though it is stationary, right? Why? Is because the flow of time. Time is changing the quality of the space in front of you. So your indriyarthas are continuously changing. Like it is like you are moving in time and space, but you think you are stationary. And as time and space changes, it is asking you to respond. How you respond to this movement of time and space determines whether you will be sick or healthy, or whether you will be happy or sad. Are you able to relate to this? So, what this sloka is telling us is that we are entrapped in a time space matrix. We are entrapped in a time space continuum which you cannot escape. Even if you close your eyes, the time space continuum in which you are embedded, this is called samsara. Samsaradi the samsara. What is samsarana? Anybody, what is the actual meaning of samsarana?
Moving.
Moving. But what
Yes.
type of moving?
Change. Movements, you have to change.
Okay, only that. Why is our samsriti? It is called as samsara and samsriti. We call our universe, our embodied life as samsara.
to go around.
सम्यक् सम्यक् सरति इति
Yes, but the thing is, it is not just moving forward, it is moving in a cyclical manner.
To
It
go
means
around.
the cycle, go around samsarati, again and again, going around. This samsara is nothing but this time-space continuum in which we are flowing. We cannot stop it. Like I cannot stop time. I cannot prevent winter from coming. Dinayaminyau sayam pratah shishiravasantav punarayatah kala kridadi gacchatyayuh tadabina munjatyashavayu. Anybody know where this is from?
Bhajagovindam.
Bhajagovind. Yes. So Adi Shankara, has so beautifully explained this samsara, this moment of time and space. Dinayaminyau, Sayam Pratah, day and night, morning and evening. Shishira Vasantau, this late winter and spring. Punarayatah, they keep coming again and again. And every time time and space moves or changes, we are forced to give some response, right? When night comes, we have to sleep. When day breaks, we have to wake up. When it becomes too hot, we are forced to drink some water. When it becomes too cold, we snuggle ourselves inside a hot room. When it becomes too hot, we run out, and find a shade under a tree. Or we go near a lake and, have a bath. So nature is continuously forcing us to do things so that we don't go to sleep. We have to be alert. We have to be continuously alert to the changes that are happening in the time and space continuum around us. Are you able to feel it? We are not aware of it, so we have to become aware of it. That is why in Bhajagovindam Adi Shankaracharya is reminding us. Dinayaminyu Sayam Pratah. See the day and night, it's passing by. And have you responded correctly? The same sloka, Dinayaminyu Sayam Pratah, and Adi Shankara is telling that what is increasing as the time flows, not our buddhi, but our asha vayu. The vayu of our desire alone is increasing as time flows. The plan of nature is that when we behold this universe, this ever changing, fleeting universe of samsara, nature is hoping that our intelligence will awaken and we will free ourselves. Nature is waiting for the smart ones to awaken their buddhi and free themselves of this samsara. But we create the asha pasham and we become more and more bound to the samsara. That is why Vagbada also tells in Ashtanga Hridayam, Naktam dinani me yanti katham bhudasya samprati dukkha bhangna bhavatyevam nityam sannihita smriti. So, Naktam dinani, dinayaminyev sayam pratah punarayatah. But me katham yanti, Naktam dinani. How is the day and night? How am I faring when day and night moves? When Shishira and Vasanta come and go? When Sayam Pratah come and go? Me katham bhudasya. How am I responding to it? This is what we must think about. That is what this sloka is telling. If you think exactly what is happening, how you are being affected by that and how you are responding to that, dukkha bhangna bhavatyevam. You will never get sorrow. If you just stand back and watch what is happening, become aware. Today, we are sitting inside. See, when I studied Ayurveda, we were in a Gurukulam. I went to study Ayurveda at the age of 15, 7.5 years course. And now I can tell you one big difference. I still believe that today Ayurveda colleges should be constructed in that way. We had only huts. Every time we entered the class and came out, we would see nature. Today, once you enter into the building, you may not see nature at all again till you go out. Sometimes people are living their whole life inside these buildings. But our construction was such that when you move from one place, small huts, every time you move out, you had to see nature. You had to feel nature. And then this Dinayamin, Naktam Dinani, all this becomes. Today you can sit in a corporate office and not even know whether it is day or night. My father once told me he went to America once, many, many years ago. And on a bright daylight, one lady came and asked, "What is the time, mister?" And my father said something, 2 o'clock or so. AM or PM, she asked. She was under the influence of drugs. She doesn't know whether it is day or whether it is night. That is the way we are living today. We are completely diverse from nature. We are sleeping sometimes at the break of dawn, and we are awake at night. So, this is the cause for all diseases. Not following. See, when you say in Satyam Vadishyami, Ritam Charishyami, that Ritam is the harmony of the universe. So, the Vedic mantra makes us say, Satyam Vadishyami, I will speak the truth and I will follow the rhythm. That word rhythm is also very similar to the English word rhythm, right? In English, there is a word rhythm, R-H-Y-T-H-M. So you have to be in tune with the rhythm of the universe. Then your buddhi will. So your buddhi has to perceive. If your because you cannot blame nature, right? You cannot say, I became sick because nature created winter. I became sick because I did not respond to winter correctly. Ayurveda has given you the Hemanta and Shishira Rutucharya. You cannot blame. Nature is going in its way. It just not wait for any one of us. So Kala Buddhindriyarthanam yogo mithya na chaticha. Dvayashrayanam vyadhinam trivitho hetu samdha. We have to start thinking, am I living every moment in my life consciously? Whenever changes happen in nature, am I adjusting myself correctly? See, we have all these thermostats, all these systems are there in our body. Additionally, we have, see, animals can completely adjust themselves. You have heard of hibernation, right? In winter, how animals survive. But humans, we don't have to hibernate. We have the buddhi. That is why I like Charaka's thing. This is specifically for human beings. Kalartha Karmanam Yogam is more applicable to animals also because they are responding by karma alone. We are instinctual karma, but humans are responding using their buddhi. By using our buddhi, we can establish a samyak yoga with the time and space matrix. Indriyarthas are in the space matrix and they present to us and keep changing in the flow of time. Is that point clear? So when our buddhi doesn't make a correct judgment of the time and space in which we are embedded, and then if we make a wrong action, that action is called prajnapada. So you have to live like, so Ayurveda is itself tapas. If you just live this way, there is no other tapas that is needed. That is why Ayurveda got Vedatum, we discussed earlier. Because Vedic way of life means, yes, Sumitra.
So the Dvayashraya, does it specify something? Because
Yes,
we didn't understand.
Dvayashraya I mentioned body and mind.
Okay. So the disease for both the body and mind.
Both the body and mind. All your mental and physical ailments are coming because of this wrong interaction. If you interact correctly, then there is no disease. You will not even get agantuja vyathis. This was the idea of muhurtam. Muhurtam. Again and again. Muhurtam means, see, it is not enough that in the morning alone I am doing the things correctly. One moment, if you slip and make a mistake, then it will have a consequence. So you have to live life like a tapas. Becoming aware of what is happening in nature and just giving your response. Then life becomes a prayer. I am doing everything in the flow. This was called in Chinese medicine as the Tao. The Tao of medicine. The Tao. The flow of the universe. So all that we can do is, now we are compensating. We are doing all things wrong against nature. Then we are trying to adjust again and again. We are using and creating. So we sit inside air conditioning rooms and make the world more warmer. The more the world becomes warmer, the more we will use air conditioning and make our rooms colder. So this is, not a very intelligent way of doing things. An intelligent way of doing things is when you protect nature and then nature protects you. Ayurveda is first and foremost nature-centered medicine. Then only, secondly only, it is person-centered. So this is a very profound verse, Kala Buddhindriyarthanam Yogo Mithya Nachadicha, which says that health is not a balance from inside. Health is not Tridosha balance. That is mentioned much later. Health is a balance between you and the universe. Kala Buddhindriyarthanam. If there is an imbalance between the way you interact with nature, then you will become sick. Whatever medicine you take, that's why Dinacharya and Ritucharya became so important in Ayurveda. The beginning of our text itself, they will discuss Dinacharya and Ritucharya. So everybody says balance of doshas is health. Doshas cannot be balanced if we are not having balance with nature around us. So the balance between the internal and external environment is what Ayurveda actually calls. That's why Vagbhara beautifully puts it, Rogarogya Eka Karanam, the actual cause for health. Health, it's Rogastu Dosha Vaishamyam, Dosha Samyam Arogada. But Rogarogya Eka Karanam, the only cause for Roga and Anarogya is Kalartha Karmanam Yogo Hina Mithyadi Matraga. Samyak Yogascha Vitnyayo Rogarogya Karanam. So that's this verse. Any questions? Or is it clear?
Sir, just what is this Trividho Hetu Sangraha? What are the three reasons?
Yes. Mithya Yoga, Ati Yoga, and Hina Yoga. Ati Yoga means overindulgence. Everything has to be, your interaction with nature has to be, suppose you go to sunrise. See, everything should be done in the optimal way. Now you go out to nature and you are not coming back. That is Ati Yoga. More and more you are getting exposed. Or you just take a glimpse and come back. That is Hina Yoga. Or Mithya Yoga is, in the night you are waking up and roaming around. In daytime you are sleeping. This is Mithya Yoga. So three ways in which you can do things wrongly. Hina Yoga, Ati Yoga and Mithya Yoga. Is that clear? This is called Trivito Hetu Sangraha. So Hina Yoga, Ati Yoga and Mithya Yoga of your buddhi with the time and space in which you are embedded. So if I am in America, I must know that my time and space is different. So my actions have to be different. My buddhi should work like an American. When I come back to India, again it will. So sudden change from one place to the other, you know what it causes? It causes body confusion. What is it called? Anybody knows? If I just shift to the US in one day,
Jet lag.
jet lag. Yes. So jet lag, if it happens continuously, it is not good for your health. Sudden this kind of travel, so you have to plan your travel. You have to plan the timings. Today we look at cheap flights and go, and sometimes it puts you into the height of a jet lag. So if you plan your arrival departure in such a way that while when you arrive the body is not so much confused, you can cope better. I have found that jet lag is more severe on the return from faraway places like US. You know, sometimes it takes 10 days, 2 weeks to recover. This is because time and space suddenly changes. It has to be actually very gradual. There will be a vata disturbance in your system. So doing Vatahara treatments can also help. So we have so many compensatory measures. Whenever you violate some of this natural way of living, your natural thing, you have to. So if you keep awake at night, then you are supposed to sleep half the time in the day. You should not oversleep during the day. Half the time. So if I did not sleep for 5 hours, then in the daytime I should sleep only 2.5 hours. And daytime when you sleep, you should sleep in a sitting posture. Aruksham anabhishyandit to asina prachalaitam. Day sleep should always be in the sitting posture. And in day sleep, it should be only to relieve fatigue. You can have power naps, short power naps. You know, in olden times, we had these easy chairs where you don't lie down. So all the old people and all, they used to sit in that and then take a power nap quickly. So when you're really very tired and looks like you need a power nap, there is no harm in taking a short nap. A long sleep in the lying position, it will cause accumulation of fluid, it will cause srotorodha. And now there has been a finding that people who are habituated to day sleep, they are at a very high risk to develop Alzheimer's when they get old. I will show that research. Alzheimer's. So in a new study published in the journal Alzheimer's and Dementia in 2022, I'll just show that the link between excessive daytime napping and, so let me just pull up that thing. So it's not good for your brain, excessive daytime napping. So don't worry if you have short naps.
How much is short and how much is excessive?
Yeah, short nap, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that's how much you must sleep. Sleeping for hours in the daytime, and getting up feeling very groggy, and daytime sleep doesn't really give you good relax. When you wake up also, your mind is a little tamasic. So here is the article which says, Bright Focus funded researcher Peng Li wanted to know if sleep disruption and a malfunctioning biological clock are related to Alzheimer's. So in a new study, they studied about 1,400 adults, and they found there is a strong link between excessive daytime napping and the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. They found that participants with an Alzheimer's disease diagnosis were more likely to nap during the day. So this is showing strong evidence that the circadian clock disruption and autonomic nervous system dysfunction may be part of the Alzheimer disease process. So Ratrau Jagaranam Ruksham Snigdham Praswapanam Diva. Pittasleshma Prakopa will happen during day if you sleep during daytime, and if you sleep at night, then there will be, if you wake up at night, then there will be Vata Kopa. Pitta Kapha will aggravate during day sleep, and so in order to prevent that inflammation and other processes, sitting and sleeping is advised. Aruksham anabhishyandi twasina prachalayita. That is clearly mentioned. So Ayurveda is telling you everything about how to live, how to sleep, when to eat. Everything has been described. Ayurveda is a way of life. It is telling you how you must live your life, moment by moment. So I hope it is clear. Kala buddhindriyarthanam mithya yoga, ati yoga and hina yoga is the trividha hedu sangraha. So time, objection space and your intellect. How you perceive and respond to it. And yeah, anabhishyanda is only asina prachalayita. Only if you sleep in a sitting position, it is aruksham and anabhishyam. That's why they tell, if you want to sleep in daytime, just sit on a chair, just relax a little bit and have what is today called as a power nap. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then you wake up fresh and then you go back to your work. That kind of, and especially in summer season, a little bit of day sleep is allowed because it is very tiring. But again, if you sleep like a log on a very comfortable mattress, soft mattress in daytime, then this habitual sleeping is a problem. Not once in a while. Once in a while, our body may need to adjust. It has been a very tiring day. You went out into the sun and got very exhausted. That's fine. All these things, it's by habit that it creates a problem. So we have to make sure we don't develop habits. Ayurveda tells you to be flexible. There is no hard and forced rule that this is good or this is bad. When you are very tired, Ayurveda tells when you can sleep during daytime, when you have traveled a long distance and become exhausted, then day sleep is needed for you. You have so much of rukshada in your body that the abhishyanda will not affect you because there is so much rukshada in your body. But if you have eaten very heavy meals and you are fully in kapha state, and then if you sleep during daytime, then it will definitely cause abhishyanda and other problems. Is that clear, Varsha? Yes. So let's move on.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry, Abhishandi and Anabhishandi.
Yeah, abhishyandi means causing a lot of secretions. That is, it will clog all your channels. Like people who are having bronchial asthma or rhinitis or such diseases, when they sleep during day or if they eat a lot of curds, they will feel there will be congestion. Congestion means all body secretions will increase and it will accumulate in the lungs. So it can eventually, over a long period of time, it can cause congestion in the lungs. It can cause congestion in your brain. All organs will get affected. So that is called abhishyandi. So sleeping during daytime is abhishyandi because when you rest, kapha increases. Because of the heat, the kapha melts. So abhishyandi is like melting and oozing. In night time, when you sleep, kapha will increase, but because it is not hot, there is no abhishyanda. So daytime, when you are sleeping, kapha and pitta will together increase, causing what is called abhishyanda. But when you sit and sleep, then the kapha doesn't increase much, and so the pitta cannot cause abhishyanda. That is, the heat cannot cause abhishyanda. And if you sleep for a short while, there is no problem. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So then we move on. So the Dvayashrayanam is being explained now. Shariram sattva samjnam cha vyadhinam ashrayo mataha tatha sukhanam yogastu sukhanam karanam samaha. So Shariram and Sattvam is the manas. These are the two, the substrata for disease. Vyadhinam ashrayo mataha. Tatha sukhanam yogastu sukhanam karanam samaha. So both the body and the mind is the substratum for both disease and health, sorrow and happiness. But Samyak Yoga is the reason for Sukha. And Hina Mithya and Ati Yogas are the reason for Dukkha. So please use your buddhi and make sure that you have Samyak Yoga, Sama Yoga. That is what this is telling. So now you can see here that Atma is not the basis of disease. Atma is nirvikara. It is not the asraya for vyadhi. It is not the asraya for sukha or dukkha. That is why we say, if you get into the Atman, swastha, when you become a swastha, you go beyond the body and mind. Now we are identifying with our body and mind, mostly with our body. Some people may identify more with their mind. So you can ask yourself, are you more a physical being or a mental being, or are you a spiritual being? Please ask this question to yourself. If you are always looking in front of the mirror, combing your hair, doing facials, always finding the best clothes to wear, and obsessed by it, there is nothing wrong in being a physical being. But if you are overtly obsessed by that, you're always concerned about your body, then you are a physical being. You can find that when you move from a physical being to a mental being, intellectuals, they tend to ignore their body a little bit. Have you seen these intellectuals? Not even combing their hair, not sometimes even having a bath, maybe smoking a cigarette, wearing some torn clothes even sometimes. So that means they are not purely physical beings, they are more mental beings. So it is nice sometimes to sit when you are having a cup of tea in a restaurant, you can look around and see different kinds of people. But spiritual beings, they have no abhimana in either the body or the mind. So, it is not easy for us to go, as long as we have body consciousness, as long as we have mind consciousness, there will be sukha and dukkha. The only way to there is no way to end. So, initially what happens is we try to avoid dukkha and get sukha. And there is no end to this. In fact, we find ultimately that durlabham hi sada sukha. After all the effort that I have taken, what did I understand? That there is no way to get sukha. This body and this mind is destined to give you dukkha. Lokam shokahatam cha samasta. This whole world is shokahatam. So how do we move out of this? So what we understand is that our goal, this is a very big finding in our spiritual tradition, that the goal is not to simply avoid dukkha and get sukha, but go beyond sukha and dukkha. The goal is to go beyond sukha and dukkha. And that is only possible by transcending body and mind consciousness. So how do we come out of this? If I have body consciousness, deha buddhya tu dasoham. Deha buddhya tu dasoham. If I am having a deha buddhi, then consider that you are a servant. Your body is to serve this world. You must have an attitude of service when you are in the body. Body is an instrument for service. Dasa buddhi. I am a dasa. Jiva buddhya twadam shakaha. When you are in the mind, you must understand, you must have the feeling that I am only a spark of the infinite. It is the infinite that is expressing through my mind. In both these two ways, I can try to remove that abhimana of the body or the mind. But when you enter into Atma Buddhi, Atma Buddhya Tvamevaham. When I get into Atma Buddhi, there is no difference. This is what Hanuman is telling Rama. Deha Buddhya tu dasoham. Oh Lord Rama, when I am having Dehabhimana, I consider myself your dasa. When I am having Jivabhimana, I am considering myself as just a spark from you. And when I have Atma Buddhi, Atma Bhivana with you, then I consider that I am same as you. Atma Buddhya, Tvamevaham iti me nishchita matihi. That is the bhakti of Hanuman. So his body is always like a dasa, ready to serve. And his mind realizes that all the prowess that he gets from his mind is coming from that higher source. And he knows that deep inside he is not different from the cosmic self, from the universal self. So this is the same idea that Ayurveda also gives us. Shariram sattva samjnam cha vyadhinam ashrayam. As long as you are embodied, as long as you are linked to the mind, the karma bija, mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. It is the mind alone that is the cause for bandha and moksha. Mana kridam kridam karma na sharira kridam kridam. It's not the body that does the action, it is the mind, the intention behind it. So this is very clearly Ayurveda says, as long as we are having Sharira Buddhi and Manas, we are identifying with our Shariram and Manas, we will be trapped in this samsara of Sukha and Dukkha. And our natural instinct is to run away from Dukkha and get Sukha. But since Sukha and Dukkha are just two sides of the same coin, can you run away from night to day? Soon day will run into night and night will again run into day. So you have to face both. Unless you go to some Arctic region where, some times of the year there is only day and some times of the year there is only night. But there also the day will come to an end. And night will descend and then night will change to day. That's why Gita says, Sukha Dukkha Kshami. You have to be able to bear this dvandva of Sukha and Dukkha. Dvandvair vimuktaha Sukha Dukkha samjnai gachandya mudha padamavyayam tat. So dvandvair vimuktaha, unless you are vimukta from dvandva, you cannot reach the avyaya pada. Dvandvair vimukta Sukha Dukkha samjnai dvandvaihi vimuktaha padam gachandya namayam. So that is what Ayurveda says. So by going there, by getting that Sama Yoga, that is the challenge of our life. To be in Sama Yoga with nature, to be in Samyak Yoga with nature. Today we call this as harmony with nature, being in harmony with nature. But no other system has explained it so beautifully, so profoundly as, in these verses, taking us to the depths of spirituality and also, to the pragmatism of this practical life. So both are synthesized together here. And that is what Veda is. Veda embraces both this and the other world. Lokayor Ubhayor Hidam. Because Ayurveda is Lokayor Ubhayor Hidam, that is why it is called as a Veda. So modern science is so fantastic that it is teaching us so many things. But why it is not a Veda? It is science, of course, but you cannot call it a Veda because it is not a Moksha Shastra. It is only Ihaloka focused. Tasya ayusho punyatamo vedo vedavidam madaha vakshadeyan manushyanam lokayor ubhayor hidam. The Vedas also talk about ubhaya loka hidam, but it is more on the other loka, but Ayurveda is focused on both. Both worlds are necessary. So then we come to the major, yes, the definition of Atma. So this is the ultimate Dravya, this is the source from which this whole universe emerges. Nirvikaraha, Parastvatma, Sattvabhuta Gunendriyaihi, Chaitanye Karanam Nityam. Drashta Pashyatihi Kriyaha. So this is very, very important here. Atma by itself is not Chaitanyam. It is conscious, but Chaitanyam, what we call in our parlance, is, in the embodied state. I am speaking. Now this is Chaitanyam expressing. That is happening because Sattvabhuta Gunendriyaihi Chaitanya Karanam. Atma by itself is not creating the Chaitanyam. Through Sattva Bhuta Gunendriyahi. It needs that samyoga with Sharira, Indriya and Manas. Then only it will express Chaitanya. Otherwise the Chaitanyam is there but is not expressed. That's why we call the Atman as Chetana Dhatuhu. See, that is why we have the Sarupa and Arupa Upasana. Parastvatma is Arupa, it is Nirguna. It's very difficult for us to fathom it. Kleshodhikadaras tesham avyakta sakta chedasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhiravapyate. So, looking at the Paramatman, we devoid of Sattva Bhuta Gunendriya, we cannot even grasp or relate to that consciousness. That's a very difficult way to tread. That is why Saguna Upasana became so important in our tradition. And the Chaitanya, the manifestation of Chaitanya is through the Sattva Bhuta Gunendriyahi. So Paramatman itself is Nirvikara, Nirvikritihi, just a witness. So we are also telling here why Nirvikara? Because Atman is not affected by Sukha or Dukkha. So that is the only place you can escape from Sukha and Dukkha. That is the only place where you can escape from disease or even health. Because how long can you be healthy? Health is also created, kritakam, so it will be destroyed. Nobody can escape disease. So old age is called as Swabhavika Vyati, Subhava Vyati. Yad Jara Vyati Prashamanam. So Nirvikara means that earlier we said Shariram Sattva Samjamstu Vyadhinam Ashraya. Atma is Nirvikara. It is not the Ashraya for any Sukha or Dukkha. It is just the cause for Chaitanyam. Because of Atman, you become aware of Sukha and Dukkha. Atman is not creating, it is beyond Sukha and Dukkha, but it creates that awareness of what is happening in the body and mind. We begin to experience it as Sukha and Dukkha because our awareness gets trapped. Chaitanya Karanam Nityo Drashta Pashyati Kriya. You actually you only have to witness. If you are in that state of Atman, Swastaha, then you are just witnessing what is happening to your body and mind. The moment you identify, you are trapped. So that's how the jiva is born. I am watching my body and mind, and as long as I am just watching it, Dwa Suparnau Sayujau Sakhayo. Has anybody heard this? Dwa Suparnau.
Yes, Upanishad.
Yeah?
Yes, it is from
Upanishad.
Munda.
Upanishad.
Ah, from the
Upanishad.
so Jivatman and Paramatman. So one is watching, the other is eating the fruits. The moment we become witness, we are liberated. Sakshi Bhavam. So that is explained here. Nirvikaraha parastvatma sattva gunendriyi chaitanye karanam nityam drashta pashyati kriya. So to bring us to that state of witness, that is actually health. Mundak Upanishad. Yes. So you can see the link, all these concepts. So you can strengthen the knowledge of Ayurveda by studying other Shastras also. And the reason why we are not getting deep insights into Ayurveda is we are trying to study it only in the light of science. Everybody say we must make Ayurveda more scientific. It's okay, where science is useful we can apply. But as you said, Ayurveda will lose its Vedatvam if you make it too scientific. Lokayor Ubhayor Hidam is not there in science. It is only a knowledge for creating more convenience. It's not an ultimate solution. It is a useful solution, but not the ultimate solution for the problems of human life. Yes, yes. Because Ichha, Dvesha, Sukha, Dukkha all happen in the presence of Atman. Because of that Chaitanyam, but it is happening only when there is a contact with Manas and Sharir. If not, it is Nirvikara. If that contact happens and if there is an identification with the body, then, so what we are telling is that it is the coming together of Atman, Sharira and Manas that is actually causing Sukha and Dukkha. The Manas and body are creating the Kriyas which create the feeling of Sukha and Dukkha. That awareness is from that awareness or experience is because of the Atman. But only the Atman that is Mohecha Dvesha Purusho Rashi Samjnastu Mohecha Dvesha Karmacha. If we are deluded by Moha, Ichha and Dvesha, if the Atman is identifying with the body and the mind, then Sukha Dukkha, all this cycle starts. Otherwise, it is not there. So these are all called as Atma Guna. It's a very good question. Ripi asked, very good question. Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham, Prayatnas, Chetana, Dhridi. These are all considered as Atma Gunas. Is that clear, Ripi? Did you understand? This is, yeah. You're all saying yes. This is, if you understand it, you are liberated. So I'm sure you didn't fully understand. Even I am only beginning to understand all this. Some idea we will get, but when you really understand it, then you will become the witness and you will get liberated. So you can get some feel of it. Yes, I'm getting trapped. The more I'm identified with my body, the more I'm identified with my mind. That is the actual cause of all illness, of all dukkha, and of all sorrow. And so when you meditate, you are actually learning to be a witness. In true meditation, there is no need to close your eyes and escape from the world. While you are watching everything, while you are doing all your actions, you should be a witness. As what happens in Prakriti. Maya adhyakshena Prakriti suyate sacharachara. In my presidency, in my, in my being witness, I am doing everything without doing anything. That is the way we must live in this world. Padma patram ivampasa. So all those things are what is implicated here. So I think with that, we come to the end of our session today. We will continue tomorrow. Yes, Sumitra.
Sorry, sir. My question is for the previous shloka that we learned.
Yes.
About Kala, Indriya, and Buddhi.
Yes.
So a couple of days back, you suggested about Veera Simhavalokana. So I got a chance to go through it.
Yes.
So what I understood is the adharma that we make or the papa that we make is also seat of disease. It
Yes.
is what I understood in the medical astrology context.
Yes.
So in that case, if that can be equated to Kala or Buddhi or Indriya of the
No, that is, that will attain Paka through Kala. Kala is indirectly responsible for it, but it is the seed is in our mind only. Buddhya yukto esha te bhita sankhye buddhir yoge tvimam shrunu buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasisi. So he is telling that with buddhi only you can cut that. So it is there in your chittam, and time and space is just nurturing it at the right time and place. This karma vipaka will happen, but it is in your buddhi. It is your own buddhi which is leading you, making you do the actions that will take you to experience the result of your past karma. So if you have chitta shuddhi, then your karma is gone. That is why Krishna says, Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. Jnanagni, once you get Jnanagni, how does Jnanagni come from your buddhi? So if you use your buddhi correctly, karma bandham prahasis, you can break the cycle of karma. Nothing to fear. But the karma that has already started sprouting. See, that is why childhood is so important. The vasanas, before they develop, we have to burn them away in the seed form. That is why our samskara tradition is there, Shodasha samskaras, catching children young, and completely transforming them, creating a new. So we are working to prevent their. If you do such a Vedic culture, then we can prevent children from experiencing a lot of their bad karmas. So it's a positive thing. Our culture is not that, okay, you have done some bad thing, so you keep getting punished for it. No, it's a culture of learning and positive approach. Bali purushakaro hi devam apyati vartade. So esha te abhihita sankhye buddhir yoge tvimam shrunu. So it is buddhi. Buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. So awaken your buddhi, and when that clarity of buddhi comes, you will see, because how does daiva lead you? How does your karma lead you to its result? Through prajnabharat only. When you are having a bad karma, what happens? Your buddhi only malfunctions. It is not that nature is at the wrong time, you will go to the wrong place. And then the lightning strikes you and you get the. So it will look like you have yourself trapped by making the wrong actions. So Krishna also says, Ayurveda also says, awaken your buddhi, connecting to the higher source. Open up, bring that light into your buddhi, and then all karma will be vanished. That's why Krishna strongly says, Apitet sarva papanam papebhyo papa krittama. Sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrajinam samtarishyati. Even if you have committed the biggest of sins, apichet api, what is that? Durachara. Bhajade mam ananya bhak. Or I am just not suddenly not remembering that. Chipram bhavati dharmatma samyak vyavasido hisa. Even if you are a durachara, if you take that step, chipram bhavati dharmatma, you can quickly become a Dharmatma. So see the openness, see the openings. Any time, at any point, there is a possibility of turning back and recovery. But some prarabdha we will have to face. That is necessary also for balancing our mind. A little dukkha here and there, you can minimize it. We can avoid tragedies, but some dukkhas we cannot fully avoid. They help us to, because sukha and dukkha are two sides. So some dukkhas will, but we will definitely be able to avoid the heavy dukkhas. That will completely shatter us, because nobody can face atitivra dukkhas. So let nobody have atitivra dukkhas, but a little dukkha, like Kunti Devi used to say, please give me more and more dukkha so that I will never forget remembering you. So that healthy dukkha will still be there. That prarabdha we cannot avoid. But all the really bad things we can avoid at any point in our life. That's Ayurveda also say, Bhagavad Gita also say, Vedanta also say, all our Shastras and Acharyas say that. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। रामकृष्णाय ते